Welcome, everyone, to the Wednesdays at 1 show. You can find us here every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, on Facebook, on Twitch, and on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube every Wednesday. This is our 21st show. So the show is now old enough to drink, and we're excited about that. And now that we're old enough to drink as a show, we're going to step up our game a little bit. And that brings me and leads me to my very first guest today. His name is Brandon Gilson. Now, when I say that this guy is a absolute boss entrepreneur, that's what I mean. Because when I met Brandon back in, I think it was 2012, he was an intern at the PR firm that I was working at the time. And even back then, even though he was an intern and we kind of put the interns over in the corner and we say, okay, go over there and just be an intern. I knew then that this guy had something special. So let's introduce our first guest, Brandon Gilson. He is the founder and the CEO of the Best Seats VIP. Brandon, welcome to the Wednesdays at 1 show.
Eric, how are you?
I'm doing so well. Now, I just sprung something on you just a minute ago, just before the beginning of the show. And I told you that we're actually going to do a little bit of IG Live elements to this show. So I'm doing the show here, and we can see it on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. But I'm actually showing a behind the scenes view via IG Live, because IG Live and StreamYard and IG Live and everything, they don't interact. Facebook has said, we're going to close this off. The only way you can really do a live is through the device itself. No third-party vendors. So You're here with me inside of my StreamYard, but I'm so happy to have you, and welcome to the Wednesdays at 1 show.
Thank you for having me, Eric. Like I said earlier, I'm stoked to be on here. I just don't know why I wasn't the first guest on this show. And I'm number what, like 22, 23 now?
21. But listen, you are...
I mean, you and I go way back. 2012, Eric. 2012. Come on.
All right. Well, you know what? You're right. But you know what? I felt like I had to step my game up a little bit before I could even bring you into my house, right?
Fair
because
enough.
You're the person on the other side of the velvet rope always, right? You are that person who really procures and secures these VIP experiences on a lot of different levels for people.
Sure.
So I want you to talk a little bit about the Best Seats VIP and what you guys do for your clients.
Yeah, for sure. So the Best Seats VIP, we are a corporate VIP entertainment concierge, Eric. And we specialize in customizing and bringing to life these really cool experiences at events that are already happening all over. So, yeah, we are based here in Boston, but our reach is worldwide. And so our bread and butter is working, Eric, with companies in all different types of work, whether it's law firm, accounting firm, wealth management, private family offices, real estate. We help them entertain their clients, establish new relationships, with new clients, celebrate success, with their staff members, and just have a fun time. Because every company, as you know, likes to do something fun outside of the, four walls of their office. And especially, now more than ever, while they're all working from home, during COVID-19, we had to shift, very, very quickly in terms of putting the access, that we still have into virtual events. So, and I'll pause there just for a quick second.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a great thing. And I think that I'm going to do a couple of things here right at the beginning of the show.
Sure.
Is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video. And it's a sort of encapsulation of the Hamilton experience that you had. I think it was last week, but it was not so long ago. But while I do that, I'm going to ask you to do one thing for me. I'm going to ask you once I start the video, to go out of StreamYard and come back in. Your picture's a little bit hazy, and it happened right at the beginning of the show. So I'm going to have you go out and come back in. But let me play this video while
Sure.
you do that. And when you come back, hopefully we'll have a little bit of a better connection with you.
Cool. Yep.
All right. So let me start that, and then we'll come back in a minute.
Dear Theodosia, what to say to you? You have my eyes, you have your mother's name.
Look around, look at where you are.
Tell us about a time when something went wrong during the performance and how you dealt with it.
And I looked down and I was like, why am I like parallel to the floor? And just like completely like boom, just on my back.
We at Stradley Ronan believe so much in the importance and the power of live theater, and we're going to be making a $10,000 contribution to the Actors Fund.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're back. Thank you so much for doing that. You're a little bit better, but I'm so glad that the people got to see this video and see some of the type of experiences that you provide for your corporate clients, for individuals, for charities. Tell me about how the whole Hamilton experience came together.
Yeah, and is the quality any better, Eric, for the
It's
video?
a little better.
and
We're
the audio?
gonna roll with it. We can see you and we can hear you, so we're just gonna keep rolling with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's a prime example of one of the virtual events that we've been crushing for the past I would say 13 months now, where we help. So what we do is we help companies bring together their team, Eric, virtually, and we will incorporate cast members from Hamilton, and they will all hop into a Zoom, with all the staff members. They sing, one or two songs. They will engage in a Q&A, with the host from our client's firm. And this will go on, for about 60 to 75 minutes. And we've also been sending cheese baskets, wine baskets, swag bags to all of the homes. So there's that tangible aspect to these things as well. And we've done dozens of these.
Well, that's the thing that I really wanted to talk about.
Sure.
What are the chances, sort of in a pre-COVID world, that you could get two cast members from Hamilton to show up at an event in Boston and perform, and that not be something that is, maybe a budget breaker or something that's just not even possible because of time considerations? How has the virtual event VIP experience shaped what and how you can deliver for your clients?
Yeah, there's always upsides to negative situations, right? And it's unfortunate that it took, a scenario like this, Eric, to, make us realize that we could easily transition the really cool in-person experiences and celebrity access that we have to now virtual. So if the pandemic, never happened, we never, would have known, hey, why not offer these types of virtual, really cool events? But they've been easy, they're seamless. And yeah, we've been doing these, with celebrity chefs where we'll do, virtual cooking demos, Q&A sessions, via Zoom with CEOs, motivational speakers, mixologists. So.
No, it feels like it's wide open, and you've really been able to take what you do and apply it to a virtual world in a way that, I think sometimes when people they think of virtual events or virtual meetings or, Zoom chats or video chats, they think of it in terms of of a downgrade, right? You'd rather be there in person. You'd rather see people. I've known you for almost 10 years now. I know you're an in the room type of guy. You're super stylish and you know how to work a room. But I think in this case, you've actually been able to, in some ways, upgrade sort of the number of events you can have, the types of people you can reach, because they're open to doing these because this is all that's available to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, spot on for sure. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and deny the fact that virtual events and experiences, Eric, will ever replace the excitement and the enjoyment of the in-person world. Obviously, but like you said, they're a unique way that we can help engage companies that might have 1,000 staff members from all over. So it's seamless, it's convenient, it's exciting, it's different. Most of the firms, that we work with, they've been doing, the Zoom webinars, but like educational purposes. So that, when we say, hey guys, let's, spice it up, where next Friday night, we're going to bring on, 2 cast members from Chicago or Wicked. And, that will get their staff much more excited than, hey, we're going to do a trivia night.
Right. And that's a little bit of the secret sauce in your business in the real world, quote unquote, right? Where you really are an experience enhancer, right? It's okay if we have a company retreat, but what if we have a company retreat and, Jason Tatum shows up, right?
Exactly. Yep.
That's something that just is an automatic upgrade. Talk about your corporate partnerships with people and how that all works.
Yeah, so great question, Eric. We have a corporate VIP membership that our clients will activate with us. And then throughout the whole year, all of their staff and all of their colleagues will be able to take advantage of us, whether it's once a week, once a month, or once a year. But we want to essentially implement our concierge services, Eric, as a new employee benefit and as a very cool perk, so that companies, no matter what you do for work, you can leverage our access and our services to say thank you, to all the staff, to all your clients. And again, that is our bread and butter.
Tell me a little bit about the requests that people make of you. Like, what are some of the things that a typical request, or maybe one that's way out there that someone's like, you're saying you want to do what, or you want to go where, or you want to meet who? Tell me a little bit about something that's way out there or something that's kind of typical. Tell me both instances.
Sure. So they could range, Eric, from literally, hey, Brandon, I want to take, my family out to, Fenway Park, and we, need 6 seats, and we want to go on the Green Monster. We want to go in the field. To, hey, Brandon, I want to take out, 25 of, my top clients to the Super Bowl. I need you, to help out with flights and hotels and car service. Brandon, I'm having a, bachelor party. I need, 5 female dancers there to show up at, 10 p.m. Like, literally, we've heard it all. And, there's no request that's too far out, for us. We don't always market and advertise all of our services for obvious reasons, but, we can, customize everything. Meet and greets with Michelle Obama, LeBron James, Marcus Smart, Brad Marchand, going on the set of Andy Cohen, Watch What Happens Live in NYC.
Yeah, so you touched on 2 things that strike a chord with me personally. Sure. One is the on the field Red Sox experience, and the other one is Andy Cohen, right? So when a really good friend of mine came to me and asked me, could I help him come up with an auction item for the Big Brothers of Central Massachusetts? And he said to me, he's like, hey, you know what? You're a guy around town. You know people. You're connected. And I'm like, maybe the old me was a little bit connected, but now I live out of the city and I don't have as great a connections as I once did. The first person I called was you. And you were like, you didn't even hesitate. You're like, let's do an on the field experience. And so we ended up building this package of 2 Red Sox tickets, 2 or 4 Red Sox tickets, I forget. And we married it to the on-field experience that you were able to get. And so for, I can't think of too many better causes than Big Brothers of Central Massachusetts. And my friend who's been involved, I mean, he's really someone who, I mean, he's one of my best friends, but so proud of all the things he's done there. So when I could come back to him and say, let's build this auction package and get people on, we can get the kids on the field for pregame watching batting practice. Maybe they get to meet a player or whatever, but who gets to go on the field at Fenway? And you were able to make that happen. It turned out to be this incredible auction item that I think went for like $1,500 or $2,000. It got into a bidding war for that particular item. And that's something that we literally, you and I kind of powwowed about it, and that's what we came up with. And it meant $2,000 to a great cause. And so that's the other side of it that I want people to know is that, it's great that you can, maybe go and meet this singer or this sports star or this person who's a personal hero. But there are other ways to implement those experiences. And if you want to do it, I don't have those connections, but I know who does, and it's Brandon Gilson. So props to you for that. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. I mean, we love working with nonprofits and organizations, like that one, Eric, where we can help, contribute, whether it's, we're donating that type of experience to, help them raise money off that, we love that. Or if there's a gala or a charity auction where they need a celebrity host, to moderate it, we've done that too. Where our team will help bring a celebrity, a retired athlete, just to host everything for them. Spot on.
That's it's incredible. It is incredible. And then the other one that we were talking about was Andy Cohen.
Andy Cohen, yeah, that's right.
And Andy, I know he's a good friend of yours, and he is somebody who, we're just kind of going through your website here and looking at all the experiences. He's somebody you've been on the set of, what is it? Watch What Happens.
Watch What Happens Live. Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool. And it's a great show. And, when I look at these pictures, I see these people in these once in a lifetime photos. These are photos that they'll have and cherish all of their lives, right? They get to go to these events and meet these people. DJ Khaled, right on the court here in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure who that is signing. I think that might be, is that
Mr. LeBron James? Yes. Yeah.
So that's LeBron right there. There's LeBron. I mean, look at who wouldn't want to be in that picture, right?
Right. Yeah.
Chance the Rapper. These are all just really great shots, and I love them. But I was going through these. Here's the Greek Freak. I'm going through these, and I go, boom! Look at what we come up with here. Right?
Who's that beautiful man in between Anderson and Andy?
I mean, you have to be really secure in your manhood. I mean, I'm in between two very prominent gay men, but you know what? For me, this was right when I started Media Prepared.
Yeah.
And for me, I wanted to meet people in media who are literally at the top of their game.
At the top, right.
And when I called you, you said, hey, there's this opportunity. You can go, you can meet these guys. And I really, the whole event was something that I probably would have never gone to on my own.
Yeah.
But you set it up. I picked up the tickets right in the lobby. I met 2 young ladies who were going to the show also. And then after the show, we got to go backstage and meet these guys. And they could not have been nicer. And for me, someone who's in the media, I want to talk to the people who are doing it on the levels that I hope to get to. And I mean, these guys in their own ways are iconic in their, I mean, who's creating more content and more watched content than these guys, right? It's the Real Housewives franchise alone is watched by millions and millions of people. Andy Cohen is a guy who basically created the whole concept. And I had a chance to chop it up with him for a minute or two.
Right.
And that's thanks to you. So I want to, sort of let people know out there that these are the types of things you can get really creative with what you're doing out there, in terms of taking these experiences, taking the service that Brandon provides and integrating it into your business, into your personal life, or however you want to. I just want to say hi to some of my viewers. And guys, if you have any questions for Brandon, please let me know. We want to put him right up in the show. My guy, DJ Ray G. This guy is doing big things. He's a DJ. He's tearing up Twitch and Facebook. He's still trying to do it on Facebook. I don't know why, because Facebook always shuts down the DJs. But so glad you're here, Ray. Great to see you. Say hello to that beautiful fam of yours. Happy birthday to your son. And of course, Andy Lyons. Now, Andy is somebody who is like you, Brandon. She's an entrepreneur. She is a in the room type of gal. Really someone who really commands a room and so knowledgeable in the entrepreneurial space. And I'm so glad that you're here today.
That's awesome.
And Ray is just saying, cool services, great job, and humbled, my friend. No, you're doing it, my man. Just keep going. That's what I say to you. That's what I say to everyone out there who's putting themselves out there. Guys, it's not easy to do this. I'm looking at my IG Live. It's not easy to host and produce and be consistent, but we do it. And Andy says hello to DJ Ray G, Ray Garcia. So thank you guys, and thank everybody who's watching right now, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or even IG Live for the very first time. I'm doing it. So I appreciate all of you guys being here. So now, Brandon, tell me a little bit about your entrepreneurial story. How did you get to founder and CEO of the Best Seats VIP?
Yeah, so great question, Eric. The answer that I typically will give to that question, Eric, is truly through all the corporate and like 9-to-5 roles that I held once I graduated college. Through those experiences, they open up my eyes to what my passion is and truly what I want to do as a career, which is be my own boss, have my own business. My dad is also a business owner, so like growing up and seeing how he manages everything, I've always been exposed to that world. But just working in sports, music, entertainment, and always having this company through my college years as a side thing. That's what led me to make that jump at the age of 27. I said I'm ready to go, full speed, full time with this. And I love just the challenge every day. Nothing's guaranteed. What we're gonna get out of this is exactly what we put into it. So just the challenge, the hustle, the grind, and every day not being the same. Like I had that when I was working for someone else, and I'm just like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm not happy doing it. So
no, that's a great story. And I know that my friend Andy, who works exclusively in the entrepreneurial space, she's excited to meet and learn from you, Brandon, because
likewise,
everybody's story is unique to them. But
sure.
One thing I know about you from day one back in 2012 is that you are a grinder. You were always on your job. And I admire that because you don't see that. I know I sound kind of like an old fogey when I say it, but you don't see that a lot with the young people. They kind of want it to be handed to them. And let me just tell you, this guy hustles for every little opportunity that he can make happen or create out of thin air, really.
Thank you.
And I have a question from DJ Ray. Question coming out of this COVID lockdown. What advice do you have for those of us in the entertainment biz in getting your swagger back, commanding the room?
Great question, RG. Well, I hope you didn't lose your swagger during the whole pandemic. All right. And I doubt that you did, RG. So But just know this, like the industry that we're in, it's going to come back 10 times as strong, right? And, we're very, very confident that that will be the case, and that everybody's, going to be looking to go out to shows and, live events and travel and the whole, hospitality space. It's going to look different at first, but just know that it's going to go back to where it was, but 10 times stronger. And everybody's going to appreciate it, that much more, right? But, I would hope that, during the pandemic, you took, a few steps back to see, what you were doing pre-COVID and how you can improve on those things, right? So, kind of like, what we're going through right now, we're going to be rebranding ourselves. So I mentioned to you, Eric, that, our new website is going live any day now. We're going to be, coming out with a whole new face, meaning a whole new company name, a whole new logo, which we're super stoked about. But just knowing that, everything's going to be bigger and better, and it's going to be, that much more special for you.
That's a great answer, and I appreciate that. That is such a great outlook. And I'm going to tell you right now, I want to be there when you unveil all of your new branding, your new look, whatever you have. I have another question here from a really great friend of mine. His name is Tony Hippolyte. Brandon, how do you manage cancellations when it's from the client side or from the guest feature side?
Great question, Tony. How do we manage cancellations when from the client side? So very rarely for the first part of that will our clients cancel. Very, very rare. And if they do need to switch up the concert or the sporting event or the travel, we're very, very flexible. So we do understand that, things, will come up. And so that, we're going to make it right for them. But on the featured guest side, I think he means by the celebrity. So again, this is great question, which we do get a lot. This is one of those things where we can only control the celebrity and the talent so much, right? So prime example, at a few of the concerts where we've had a meet and greet lined up pre-show, they've been moved to post-show, which A, they still happen, but B, we, do have to, let our clients know, hey, listen, we did, have you get here a half hour early, and we're very, very sorry, but we're going to, have you guys stay after, we're going to bring you guys backstage in their dressing room, and it's still going to happen. So we always let our clients know prior to the event, there might be a few, audibles that are out of our control, whether it's an athlete, an actor, an artist. But things like that, do come up. So you just have to roll with the punches and, not get too worked up about it, even though it can be very, very stressful.
That's great. That's a great way to look at it. And yeah, there's so many variables, especially with people who move in these circles, that I think in general, I'm hopeful that your clients are, understanding of, sort of the moving parts, all the things that go, because you're doing all the stuff behind the scenes so that it's a smooth interaction. But sometimes people don't realize how much goes into it. Why don't you take me through those steps, right? So a client reaches out to you. They say they want to meet LeBron James. He's coming to town. They're one of the things that's really important, and you mentioned it, but I want to say it again. These are worldwide events. There's no geographical boundaries, right? So if you're in LA and you want to meet LeBron at a game that they're doing 3 weeks from now, you're the guy.
Right.
So take me through. The person reaches out to you and your team. They make a request. What happens next?
Extremely seamless and straightforward and convenient process, Eric. So great question. Our clients will call us and say, we're looking to do this type of experience. This is our ideal budget. And then what our team will do is put together maybe 3 to 5 awesome options in that budget, but also customizing it so that they get out of it, what they want to. Sometimes, as you can imagine, the client's budget doesn't line up with the expectations. So we say, hey, listen, we can't put that type of package together. However, we have a phenomenal, plan B option for you guys. We set up everything. So literally all our clients have to do, Eric, is just show up at the exact time, at the exact space, and it's good to go. Literally. So there's no legwork. Yeah.
I love that. Even I can't mess that up, I think. Um, Ray says he appreciates your answer.
Sounds
And
great.
Andy says hello to Tony. We love Andy and Tony. They are two very loyal viewers of my show, so I appreciate them. And I've had them both on multiple times, and I'll have them on again as well. So
I have to say this. So I've seen
right.
Andy all over social media. So she's a beast on there. I have yet to have the pleasure to actually meet her. However, whenever I'm on LinkedIn or IG, she's always up there.
That's great to know. And you know what? Andy is. You guys, too. You guys are. The reason you guys haven't met is because you're both so busy grinding on your game. So take a break, come up for air, and say hello to each other, connect with each other. I think
Definitely.
you guys could have a great sort of mutually beneficial connection there because, like I said, you guys are kind of two of the same types of hard driving founders and CEOs. So take a breath from your daily grind and say hello to one another. That's my homework for you guys on the Wednesdays at 1 show.
I would love to. Yeah.
My friend Sudi, happy hump day, Brandon and Eric. Is there a celebrity that you haven't met that you would like to meet? That's a good question.
Yes, it's a great question, which I also get very often. There's one. There's two. One's an athlete, and then one's an artist that are on my bucket list, my personal bucket list. One, it's Drake. Drake, I would love to just, sit down with him, have a drink, for 15, maybe even 10 minutes. I don't care. I just need to say, listen, man, thank you for making incredible music. But he would definitely be up there. Also, on an athlete side, Kevin Garnett. So former Celtic, NBA champion for us. I just want to, pick his brain because, as I'm sure you know, Eric, on the court, absolute, savage, monster.
Yes.
And
Yes.
off the court, I'm curious to see, what he's like. I've seen him in interviews, but again, just to have a drink, just to like pick his brain. I would love to do that.
Awesome. Thank you. And guys, keep the questions coming in. I appreciate it. My guys on IG, I can't really interact with you a lot, but I appreciate you guys being here and checking out my backstage view. Thanks so much. But if you do have a question, come over to my Facebook, come over to my YouTube, come over to my Twitch and put your question in there. And I'm happy to answer it there. And yeah, Andy's like, Wilder, thank you for the deliciousness. Shout out, Brandon.
Very welcome. Very, very welcome.
And she's also, you guys are a mutual fan club, right? Love your LinkedIn tagline, making sour times a bit more sweet and sexy for companies, their employees, clients, and families in 2021. It's exactly what you do. And I appreciate that. So,
I think that question was also for you too. So who's on your bucket list?
My bucket list? You know what? There's a few, I would say. I'd say maybe Jay and Bay, maybe, or one or the other, or both.
One or the other, yeah.
And I know that these opportunities come with budgets, and hopefully I'll be in a position one day to provide a budget that gets me to some of the upper tier people. But yeah, I'd love to meet, just on a business. Think about the business Jay-Z's done in the last month, right? He's done like about $500 million worth of business in just the last month. So just on that business level, I'd love to meet Jay. And let me just tell you, during the pandemic, I've become like this Twitch fiend. I'm always on. I love these DJs. There's a couple of DJs out there that are like sort of classic old school DJs. I'd love to meet DJ Jazzy Jeff. Just so much history that has flowed through him from the Fresh Prince days to what he's doing now. Questlove, love to meet him and just the whole Roots crew. Those are people that I'd love to meet on the entertainment side. Of course, I'd love to meet LeBron or Tom Brady, those upper echelon. Now,
Sure.
when I worked in PR, one of our big clients was the Celtics. So I got to sort of be up close and personal with a lot of the Celtics at the time and a lot of the other players at the time.
Yeah.
So I've been able to be in rooms with people, but to sit there and talk to them, that's a whole other thing. Or just have a moment to say hello. like I said, my time with Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper, that's invaluable to me. Like, I don't even know what I paid for that experience, but at this point, it doesn't matter, right? That was an invaluable experience. So that's what I want to tell people. If you're thinking about trying to create a budget, whether it's for yourself individually, or if it's for, through your business, through your company, if you're trying to make an experience for your employees, don't be so focused in on budget. Be focused in on the incredible value that you get from these once in a lifetime experiences. And that's what you provide. So I know you're going to be rebranding, but I want to just revisit your website that you have now.
Sure.
And just kind of go through what you have here and what you are offering to people. So we talked a little bit about the celebrity VIP virtual Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what that Hamilton, which is really great. And by the way, I think, I don't know that people understand the legwork that you have to do in order to even just set these up so that people can just come in and it's turnkey for them. But, to get two people from Hamilton to show up in a virtual chat and they actually performed, it's amazing. It's a really amazing experience. Now, virtual cooking, right? Virtual VIP cooking experience. Talk to me a little bit about that because because I know you've watched my show. I've done some cooking here on my show. So tell me about that on the VIP celebrity chef level.
Sure. So we have access, Eric, to every single chef that you could possibly think of, right? And what we'll do is typically they'll happen one of two ways. One, where our team can ship out all the ingredients for the cooking demo to each and every home that will be participating, or typically we'll send out about a week or two before the actual event a full menu of everything that each attendee needs to go out and buy on their own. And then, like you said, we'll set up the Zoom, our point of contact at our client's firm. We'll send that out. Everybody will sign on for the night. The chef will go through maybe 2 or 3 different dishes, which we can fully customize to what our clients want to be cooking with them. We'll do autographed cookbooks by the chef. Our clients will use them to incentivize, give away, raffle. And those have been huge for us. I mean, we've done a lot of those, and typically they'll last for about 60 to 75 minutes.
Excellent. That's something that I think everybody can identify with, right? You get some of the best chefs in the world to basically show up in your kitchen virtually. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Right. For sure.
Wine tasting, sort of the same thing, right? You get, you can get some exquisite wines delivered right to your door, and go through and have maybe it looks like you have some pairings that go along with that. Tell me about that experience. It's probably similar to the cooking.
Yes, it is similar. Where our team will have the wine, typically 3 different types of wine, Eric, shipped out to all the homes. A lot of our clients will add on the cheese pairing. Sometimes we do an add-on for swag as well. So we have access to make customized swag. So if the company wants to send out a nice little, gift basket to each attendee, we can also do that. And these have been very, very fun because let's face it, most of you are already drinking at home or having a nice bottle of wine. Why not, learn where, exactly. And me too. So, so why not learn, how the wine was made, where it came from, and the sommeliers that, we bring on, they are on their A game. Like they can literally talk, for hours and hours. So
incredible. And again, just to be able to deliver these sort of upper echelon people, because I can tell you that in the media training business, before Media Prepared actually was a business, I still was training people to do, to be in front of the camera, whether it was on-air talent or people like yourself, CEOs or business people or spokespeople, when they're going to be in front of any sort of camera microphone or audience. But what I used to tell my aspiring on-air talent was, listen, the people you see on TV, those are people that had to come from somewhere. It's not the unreachable star. It's not the impossible dream to be that person. And I feel like your business is, you see people, you admire them, or you just are a fan of them. It's not the unreachable star that one day you could meet them and spend 5 minutes with them, or sit down and have a drink or have a meal, like with the chefs or with the sommelier. Those are things you are the person at the velvet rope. You're the person pulling back the velvet rope and saying, "Come in."
Exactly. Right.
What was the idea behind creating this business? Like, why did you? I mean, you talked about sort of like the corporate grind and kind of doing it for yourself, but why specifically these really curated, once in a lifetime VIP experiences? Why was that the business you were attracted to?
Well, so great question, Eric. I would say a lot of this roots from my passion for the industry itself, and also working with hundreds of different people, throughout the year, and building new relationships, with our clients. So I would start there. And then, of course, doing what I love is extremely important to me. And I love, just putting together these experiences that our clients will call us with, thinking that it's so far-fetched and too good to be true. And then the next thing you know, you're standing next to LeBron James, or you're on stage, at Elton John. So just, seeing how happy and how excited our clients get when we bring to life these experiences. If that answers the question.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. The passion. Let me ask you, who were some of your favorite, because I'm looking at your gallery.
Yeah.
And you've met a little bit of everyone. Who were some of your personal favorites that you met that you were like, wow, I can't believe I'm meeting this person and I'm talking to them and I thought that they were like this, but they're really like this. Like, who were some of your memorable interactions with people?
Good question. Andy Cohen, definitely. He's just such a nice guy, right? And he has not, and he'll never, let his fame, get to him. So being able to chop it up with him was awesome. LeBron James, that was for a client, but I was right there, and just seeing like how down to earth and how much of a nice guy he was. Obviously, given his stature. I mean, that was awesome. He took the time to, sign her jersey, take photos and everything else. So that was really cool. A lot of the hip hop R&B artists, I love, music, and, that's my space. So, being backstage with like Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, Ty Dolla $ign, those were awesome. Athlete wise, Brad Marchand, Marcus Smart, a lot of the Patriot players as well. Like after a while, I mean, I've been doing this, for so long, where they're just like us, Eric, where they're human beings. And so I'm just more interested in, and, just having like a normal, one-on-one with them, and not really, treating them any different, than you or myself. Right.
No, that's great. And, as someone who's, in a younger life, was able to meet a few VIPs in my day, I can say I've had both experiences, right? There's an old saying, never meet your heroes, right?
Right.
Because, they're people, and sometimes people are jerks.
True. True.
But I can tell you that for the most part, the celebrities that I've had a chance to meet have been, I'm the same way. I'm surprised at how sort of normal they are, how regular they are. That's it. I've never really had a sort of negative experience. I'd say that I've had some really great ones, and then I've had some okay ones. And I imagine you're the same. I'm not going to have you name names on people who are this or that, but just understand, I think for everyone watching, understand that, Brandon can make the connection, get you in the room, have the introduction. Doesn't necessarily mean that person is under any obligation to be, anything other than what they normally are. So if they're normally really nice, they're usually pretty nice. If they're normally not that nice, you may have that experience too.
Yep.
And then Andy asks, Andy asks, have you ever met Andy Jack? Andy Jack is a guy here in Boston, an entrepreneur, a great guy. Andy and Andy do an entrepreneurial pitch contest once a quarter called Founders Live Boston. So, of course, Andy's always thinking of connections, and she's saying, here's someone you have to meet. And, I know you, Brandon, you'll figure out a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never met Andy, but I've seen that program on Instagram. I think one of my good friends, Jason Frischman, was also on there about a year and a half ago now, maybe.
Okay.
But that sounds really cool. Yeah.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing for entrepreneurs. It's a great way to kind of polish up your act and sort of get into a incubator for a night and really sort of put your business out there to be examined and hopefully, critiqued in a positive way so that you can go forward. I love Founders Live Boston. It's always a great time. They've moved to a virtual setting, and it's really been fantastic. So you mentioned a little bit of rebranding coming up. Tell me, aside from the rebranding, what's next? What's coming up? I know that there's something with Dave Chappelle. What else is out there? Or you can maybe expand on that, but what's next for the Best Seats VIP?
Well, the whole rebrand is definitely our biggest project, and this has been a year and so ongoing, and the pandemic has allowed us to, shift our focus to that. So the first big one is definitely the rollout of our new website and our new company name and our new company logo. Beyond that, Eric, definitely looking down the light of the tunnel where we're going back to live events, which is great. All right. So Fenway, Gillette, TD Garden is now allowing fans back in. A lot of our clients have already started to, call us and say, listen, I need to go out to the Celtics, the Bruins, the Red Sox. So we're very, very fortunate, that we're staying busy with that. Concert-wise, not so confident about those returning this year. Definitely next year. But I'd be shocked if we are at concerts at some point this year. But if we are, that's great. There are some of these individual one-off shows. Like Dave Chappelle just announced that he's going to Foxwoods for 2 nights in June. We've already had a handful of clients, reach out, needing access to that. So we're setting them up with seats, backstage passes, hotel reservations at Foxwoods, car service to and from. So a lot of those individual one-off shows. And
I heard that they're going to do rapid testing right at the door.
Yes. Yeah. So, which we obviously are, letting our clients know that that's part of, the whole process, for now, at least. Yeah, they're going to have to take a rapid test. They're going to have to wear a mask, for the whole night, obviously. So, and then, so last summer, we got very creative where we partnered up with some of the movie drive-in theaters. So we're doing, some promotions with the local ones. We're going to look to do that again, this summer. Yeah. So it's just all about, getting. Oh, yeah, sorry. Go on.
No, I was going to say that is great. I mean, there are some glimpses, there's some indicators that we're getting back to semi-normal, right? We're going to, whatever normal is, right? We're getting back to it. And I'm happy that you are going to adapt and adjust as time goes on. I'm wondering, will there be vaccinated only events, right? Will people be able to kind of come and show their card, or use that as a way to kind of get into some things, or to be admitted to certain areas, or something like that? What are your thoughts on something like that?
As crazy of a concept and as an idea as that sounds, Eric, I would not be shocked if that does happen. After, this whole pandemic, I believe that anything is possible just because of how crazy this is. So if it does come down to that, I would not be surprised to see that. However, unfortunately, I feel like people are going to figure out a way to, finesse getting a fake, vax card. So how the hell can you tell, if, John Doe actually got, 2 Pfizer shots or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I had no idea, but if that is the case, it's crazy on one hand, but it's not crazy.
Well, one of the things as we begin to wrap up is that I want to make sure. So Andy has fully punched in for this show. She's like fully working, right? I'm going to have to fill out a W-2 for Andy at the end of this show because she's working this full hour for us. So I'm going to have
I love it.
Send me a W-2, Andy, and I'll get that out to you. VIP events often require VIP swag bags. Wondering if Zaze and other high-end local products would be a fit. So Zaze is a high-end extra virgin olive oil. And our good friend Laura Qureshi, who's usually on here, I think she might be out of the country, but it's a high-end. I'll make the connection for you after the show. But thank you, Andy, so much. And, make sure you fill out your timesheet properly at the end of this show. And I know that Laura appreciates it too. But yeah, and speaking of which, I think that for you and I, Brandon, I want to make sure that I say a couple of things. Number one,
sure,
I am incredibly impressed and proud of all that you've built with your company. Remember, I knew you when you were a young kid coming in as an intern, and now you're sitting here as a CEO and curating these VIP experiences. I'm incredibly proud of you. I'm incredibly impressed with all that you have accomplished with your career.
Thank you very much for those very kind words. And that means a lot, coming from you, Eric, someone of your stature and, where you are in your career. Thank you for saying that. Truly.
Well, I appreciate that. And then number two, you and I are going to find a way to collaborate on some things. I know we're talking and we're going to do some things. I can't wait to see what happens when Media Prepared and the Best Seats VIP, name pending, but Media Prepared and your company work together and come up with something incredible. I know that there is some beautiful common ground there, and we'll find it together.
For sure. For sure. Most definitely.
All right. So with that, I want to thank you. I'm going to ask you to hang out in the back room there in the green room. I'm going to say goodbye to my guests. And then we'll chat a little bit after. But I want to thank you so much for giving me some of your very valuable time, Brandon. You were amazing. And guys, if you have that VIP experience that you want to procure for yourself, for your loved ones, for your coworkers, for anyone, make sure that you check out Brandon at the Best Seats VIP. And he's on IG, he's on Facebook, he's on Twitter, he's on Snapchat, he's on LinkedIn. He's great. Now, for the rest of you guys who are still with me, thank you so much for watching this week's Wednesdays at 1 show. This show has been a passion project of mine. This is show number 21. The show is now old enough to drink. And that's in large part because of all of you who have watched either live or after the fact. I appreciate it. I thank my guys on IG for tuning in. I appreciate that. So next week, we don't know what we're going to do, but I hope to see each and every one of you next week on the Wednesdays at 1 show. Until then, command your moment.